Hi, welcome to Dr. Pat TV. We're looking at how to use the calculator for compounding situations. Not for simple interest, but for compound interest. Okay, so I want to look at an example that I've done before in a previous video using the formulas. So let's make a modification to this. All right, so how do I use the calculator? Not putting in the formula, but the application of it. All right, so to use our calculator, we want to use apps. It's an application that's already into the calculator. So I just click apps and I want finance. Since it's already highlighted, you could hit enter right now, or you can just hit the number 1 there. I want TVM Solver, that's time value money. And so I'm going to hit 1 again. And now I get a screen like this. Hey, don't worry if the numbers you're seeing, you don't see the same numbers I see. That's because I've used this calculator previously and those were the numbers I used. So we'll overwrite them. So if you've got different numbers right now, don't worry about it. We're going to overwrite them. Okay, so now basically let's kind of look at what do these things mean over here, the N, the I, the PVs, and those things. I have them written over here. So let's take a look to the right. So the capital N there, that represents the total number of compounding periods. I percent there, that's the nominal interest rate. Basically for us, it's going to be annual. So we have a yearly interest rates. I just had to throw the word nominal in there just in case I've got some really hardcore business people out there. So we're looking, normally our normal situations are annual, so our yearly rate. The key thing here is to make sure you give the percent form of it. So like for my example up here, we have 2.75%. That's what I'll type in is 2.75. Do not change it into the decimal form. Don't move it 2 decimal places. Since it's got that little percent symbol, it's just kind of a reminder that the number we're putting in is the percentage, so 2.75. PV is present value. That's our starting value. PMT is payments. It's our regular recurring payments, and that's more for our annuities. So when we start doing regular recurring payments for our annuities, that's when we'll start playing with that. Most likely we'll change this to a 0. FV is future value. That's our ending value, what we end up with. P/Y is payments per year. C/Y, compoundings per year. And then payments, you have, in the business world, you have a choice of making your payments at the end of the period or at the beginning of the period. Our normal loans and mortgages, they're mostly done at the end of the period. But there is a difference in your account balance and your payments when you do beginning of the periods. But for right now, we're going to do ends. Okay, so those are basically the ideas we have. So for our situation, I'm looking at N right here. N is the number of compounding periods. We have 5 years compounded daily. So I'm going to go 5 times 360. Hit enter. 1800 periods that we're looking at. Our interest rate is 2.75. So I'll type in 2.75. Hit enter. Our present value, the principal that we put in is 500. Now here's one of the catches I want to bring your attention to. I'm going to type in a negative 500. Now you might be asking yourself, whoa, dude, what negative? What it's 500. What is a negative? Basically, for our compounding situation, when we're just talking about a loan, we deposit something in, it's not going to matter. We can fudge it. But when you get to annuities, you got to do it in a particular way. So why a negative? Think of your cash flow. Think of the flow of money. When I deposit money, I write a check for $500. The money is flowing away from me to the bank. So that's a negative flow. When money flows away from me, I'm not liking it. That's negative. When money's coming back to me, when people are giving me money, that's a positive flow. So for us, present value of the principal is a negative 500 because our flow is away. Okay, so hit enter. And then our payments, we're not making regular payments in this case, so that's going to be 0. So that's good for me, ready to go. I hit enter. Future value. The future value is what we end up with. And that's what my question is asking for. What's the balance when this certificate of deposit matures? And so I'm going to skip over that. I'm going to leave that number in there. I don't have to worry about it. I'll just jump right down below it. Okay, and so now payments per year. I gotta tell you something here. The TIP company, they really made a very powerful application here. But in one case, they made it too powerful. There's a couple ways that you can play this game. Since I like to put in the total number of compounding periods because it's consistent for compounding and for annuities, I like to keep this the same way. So here's what I'm going to recommend. Even though we're not making any payments per year, when I'm talking about regular compounding situations, certificates of deposits, I like to keep my payments per year and compoundings per year the same. Since we're doing compounded daily, I'm going to type in my 360, hit enter, and notice automatically it changes my compounding per year the same value. So I know there is another way out there that you can work with your N and your payments per year. I'm just going to go this way because it's going to be consistent with how we do annuities. That way I only have to do it one way and instead of doing it a couple of different ways. Hey, if you already know the other way, then boom, what are you even looking at my video, right? Hey, just giving you a hard time. All right, so now that I've got all my information ready to go, oh yeah, and then basically standard end of the pyramid, end of the period for our calculations of interest. I'm sorry, but the bank's not going to calculate my interest when I give them the money. They're going to wait the time period. They're going to wait till the end of the day before they calculate it. Okay, so now I'm ready to go back up to future value. That's what we're trying to find. And solve. I want to hit the solve feature right here. It's in green for me. So I'm going to go alpha and then the enter key because that's how I can get solve. And there you can see it, $573.69. Hey, if they're nice to me, they'll round that up to $573.70. And so that's how we can use our calculator to calculate these compound situations. Thanks and have a good day.